Once heralded as a beacon of impartial reporting, Britain's main broadcaster, the BBC, is now being accused of being too pro-government in its reports. As RT's Ivor Bennett finds out, it's the people who fund its existence that are complaining the most.
Here's the news.
The prim and proper speech may be on the way out, but the message is still the same. Impartial reporting's the top priority at the BBC, but does Britain's public broadcaster really represent those who fund it?
The BBC, in my mind, has a duty to challenge the government in power, and they are failing to do that, and they are not representing the people. They really need to listen to the public, because at the end of the day, we are paying their wages.
The BBC gets £3.5 billion from the public every year in the form of licence fees. So if you own a television in Britain, then you have to pay almost £150 just to watch it. Now that's spent on programming as well as news, but many don't feel they're getting their money's worth. On Twitter, for example, BBC bias is a hot topic. The channel's reporting of the government's controversial health and welfare reforms have stoked recent debates.
Shame, shame, shame on you!
Many still fiercely oppose the bills passed in Parliament and claim they've been ignored not just by their government, but by their broadcaster too.
I truly believe, had our national broadcaster accurately reflected everything that was taking place in terms of the welfare reform bill and the NHS, they wouldn't have gone through Parliament. You will notice that when they talk about austerity measures, they don't necessarily refer to cuts, they refer to savings. And that's a manipulation of words.
Opposition party Labour made an official complaint over the wording. It accused the broadcaster of buckling under government pressure to get on side. When challenged on this, the BBC gave us this statement.
BBC News provides impartial and balanced coverage across all output, and we believe we have afforded the NHS Reform Bill the appropriate level of coverage across radio, TV and online. Our flagship news programmes and bulletins reported extensively on a wide range of opposition views from politicians, health workers and members of the public.
But coverage on other thorny topics like Scottish independence has been heavily criticised too, with doubts recently cast over the impartiality of senior correspondents. These BBC training videos posted on YouTube show its reporters attacking Scotland's pro-independence stance, a stance distinctly unpopular down south. The BBC again denies bias, but some say it'll always pander to whoever's in power here.
The BBC is guilty of gross journalistic irresponsibility.
MEP Gerard Batten risked prosecution for publicly refusing to pay his TV licence fee, his protest against the BBC's coverage of the 2009 European elections. He claims it plugged a pro-Europe government-fed line.
The BBC does things with propaganda now that Dr Goebbels would marvel at. You know, their subtle use of language, the way they present stories, the way they try to make you think something based on their presentation. You know, they've done a fantastic job. If you're in the propaganda business, you know, you have to admire what they've done. What really makes me angry is they're doing it with our money, and this is my reason for being opposed to the licence fee.
Judging by the growing dissent on Twitter, others could soon follow suit. Ivor Bennett, RT, London.
Washington's attempting